There's this new rumor out there about Tesla which sort of has been confirmed now, and could it be bullish? Maybe. We don't really know exactly what's going on here. Let me show you. There's an interesting development. Tesla China acquired not one but two plots while building the energy storage factory. And this rumor now actually has been pretty much confirmed. This is where Tesla is going to build its next Megapack factory in Shanghai. We don't know though if Tesla is going to use this other piece of land for something else, or a second Megapack factory on top of the one that they are about to build. Is this where Tesla is going to build its next generation vehicle? The landmark KO1 was acquired by Tesla in December of last year, and this plot was in the approval for energy storage factory construction, and that's the river, so this is Giga Shanghai. And now there's more news that Tesla has received permits for construction of the Megapack factory in Shanghai. Sawyer now has reported on it too, and the estimated mass production date is Q1 of next year, and actual construction is supposed to start this month. The Tesla Megapack factory is going to be a big deal because the gross margins are higher in the energy business than they are in the automotive business. And if you like seeing Tesla stock being up to date, click the like button right now and subscribe, because I'm only posting the full daily news videos on this channel. And if you don't subscribe, you are sort of telling YouTube maybe this channel is not for me, and maybe YouTube will stop showing my videos to you then, so subscribe. There's another rumor. The Electric says the Tesla Model 2 was nearly ready for production when Musk scrapped it. So this is actually a newsletter from The Information, so it's not from this Electric. But did you see this? There are over 140 used Tesla Cybertrucks for sale. If you sell a Cybertruck, you are going to be banned from buying any Tesla vehicle later, by the way, so careful, people. The Information writes, early this year, a team of Tesla engineers was working out stubborn kinks in the Model 2, the company's long-awaited $25,000 electric vehicle, which was to be ready for pilot production later this year, a high-volume manufacture in 2025. The engineers believed they would surmount the technical difficulties, including with the car's signature battery, and meet the deadlines. This is according to a former Tesla employee. So they were taken aback when CEO Elon Musk abruptly shelved the Model 2 in late February and ordered them instead to accelerate development of the autonomous Robotaxi. And this next point could be different by now, but at the time it was more a concept than a physical thing, the person said. But then they write, Musk also tweeted that he had decided to almost double how fast a revised version of the Roadster, the successor to the EV that launched the company, would accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour. That surprised the team working on the Roadster, who learned about the new specifications only from Musk's tweet, the former Tesla employee told me. Now, Omar says you can tell his story is BS because he said Musk cut the Roadster acceleration time in half, and they just learned about it from a tweet. However, we have known about the Roadster acceleration since 2021. This tells me that Steve and his source are not well informed. So this is from a few years ago, and the employees from Tesla would have seen Elon tweeting about this years ago. And the day this is written, it does not mention when exactly this employee learned about this. I assume that employee learned about it years ago. This is basically just background information that they are letting everyone know about. There's an update about the 4680 batteries, and specifically about the dry battery electrode process, which alone could cut the cost of producing batteries 15% if implemented successfully at scale. By February 2024, the dry battery electrode team had managed to get the process working at relatively slow speeds on the anode side of the battery, where graphite worked relatively easily in dry form, but barely at all on the cathode side, which was made of nickel, manganese, and cobalt. For now, Tesla is using dry battery electrode and the 4680s only in the Cybertruck. DEB was important, but the team was prepared to manufacture the 4680s without it in order to produce the initial Model 2s later this year. So 4680s really would not have been the limiting factor, because if they don't use the dry manufacturing process, probably manufacturing would have been all right. And they could always add the dry battery electrode production method in subsequent iterations of the battery, according to the former Tesla employee familiar with the project. And perhaps most importantly, with or without DBE, the team expected to meet the 2025 deadline and produce a great best-in-class product, the former employee said. On Battery Day in 2020, Musk and Baglino also had described adding silicon to the anode to boost its energy and the car's driving range, but by February, the Model 2 team had abandoned this idea, since the goal with the Model 2 was low cost, not long driving range, according to the former Tesla employee. We know that the Robotaxi will be unveiled this year on August 8, and in his 2023 biography of a Tesla CEO, Walter Isaacson quoted Musk predicting that Robotaxi revenue would push Tesla's market cap to $10 trillion, which would be roughly a 20x from where we are right now. This is why Elon Musk is telling Warren Buffett it's an obvious thing to invest in Tesla stock. Some of these sketches that we have seen from Franz, the chief designer from Tesla, of course include no steering wheel or pedals and 2 seats instead of 4. And that design would align with market research showing that the vast majority of Uber and Lyft rides involve 1 or 2 passengers. It is not known, however, right now, there are no real credible rumors, will the Robotaxi have 2, 4, or 5 seats? We don't know. But a 2-seater to me makes sense. And given that the first principles approach is often implemented by Elon Musk, I would expect the Robotaxi to have no more than 2 seats. But eventually, I would expect some Robotaxis to have 4, just not the majority of the fleet. Unless the cheaper next generation vehicle is going to be made on the exact same platform as the Robotaxi, then it does make sense that the Robotaxi would have a capability to have 4 seats, because a car focused on consumers, if you could just buy it for your own consumption, yeah, that car would have to have 4 seats at least. So if you see a Robotaxi with 2 seats, I would assume that the next gen vehicle is going to be built on basically a different platform. But if you see 4 seats, then the consumer-based next generation vehicle, I think, is going to come out soon, and it will be just an iteration on the Robotaxi instead of a brand new design. I'm generally a bit more conservative than Elon Musk, so I would have 4 seats, making it easy to have different vehicles. But with Elon Musk, I wouldn't be so sure about that. And then, of course, don't forget that Elon Musk said that the next affordable vehicles that Tesla is going to be building, that will be coming out soon, will be built on a platform that will sort of be in between the current and the next generation platform. So either way, we will have cheaper vehicles soon. It's just unclear to me right now if Tesla is going to use the Robotaxi platform at all for vehicles later that will be produced for consumers specifically. Tesla protesters end days of action and announce further protests. This article is translated from German with Google Translate. There were many injuries and arrests. The police made 23 arrests and there are 27 injured officers. And despite that, the protesters want to continue. The local government wants to discuss Tesla's expansion on Thursday. The federal economics minister is criticizing the protests, so that's good. These protesters call themselves Turn Off the Tap for Tesla. That's the name of their alliance. I think they want to take away the water from Tesla, but I don't think this argument is going to hold water. And they are making some threats. If the local council votes for an expansion, the Disrupt Tesla protest will definitely come back, said a spokeswoman for the protest. The police also has not cleared the camp in the forest that activists set up in February. It is also confirmed that the protesters did not get into the inside of the factory. While 23 people were arrested, 76 criminal complaints were filed. 5 of them were brought before a judge, but all were eventually released from custody. So basically there are no consequences. Well, it's still a bit early to say, but I'm not happy to see that you can go protest, injure police officers and nothing happens to you. You can damage the property. At its peak, 1,500 police officers were deployed, and these are not just local police officers, they came from other federal states. We have no information about how many protesters were injured though. I do like what one of the ministers from Germany is saying. The border of the protest is the border fence of the company premises. The protest ends there. The criminal liability begins if you go past that wall. These people here are letting the vehicle just drive by itself. I, of course, definitely do not approve of this. If you do it on a road that's closed and you know that there's not going to be anyone on the road, and you are willing to get into a crash, and it's a private road that you own or you have the rights to be on and no one else can be on that road, okay, you can attempt doing this if you're willing to get into a crash. I would definitely not do this, and certainly not on public roads, and certainly not if any other people are on the road. occasionally FSD still does something really dumb. It's rare for me. It's very rare, but it does happen. So I would not do this. But they only did this for about 1 minute, and I'm pretty sure they probably tested this route like 100 times. I don't know. I would assume they did. But because it's not a private road, I would definitely not do it. And if you look on the right, you see there's a big ditch. I would not want to end up in that ditch. That seems dangerous. So definitely don't do this. It's good to see that it works, but don't do this. Don't even try. And if you look at the steering wheel, you will see that they are clearly using a cheat device to defeat the nag. If you are a Tesla investor, one reason why you definitely don't want to use anything like that or post a video like that is because you don't want Nitsa to see a video like this and say, oh, we need to be a lot stricter with Tesla. That would be terrible for Tesla. So if you want Tesla to do well, don't do this. And if you do it, don't post about it. Check this out. Tesla has reportedly begun hiring back some of its supercharging team, according to Bloomberg. Chief among the personnel who have returned is Max DeZeger, the director of charging for North America. I think Elon Musk has implemented the 10% rule here. If you didn't hire at least 10% of the people you fired, you didn't fire enough people, Tesla might hire more than 10% back though. Yep, one more things that Elon Musk is doing that exact same thing. Oh, well, this is disgusting. Vandals are attacking superchargers. They just cut the cord like this, making the superchargers useless. And they might be making a profit doing so. How? It's specifically in the Bay Area. The cables that Tesla uses in its superchargers are full of copper, which can be pulled and scrapped for money, which is likely the most plausible explanation for this type of vandalism. How much money can you make from that? Another identical incident occurred last week in Houston, Texas, too. It also happened in Minneapolis. While Tesla does have thousands of superchargers, so this only happened 3 times. It's not common, but it is a bit of a problem. Find these people and get them arrested. I don't quite understand it. For 2 pounds of copper, you will only get $5? How does that make sense? I must be missing something here because these people, if they just scrap it, they're not making any money. Someone, however, says I make $500 a day recycling copper wires. This does not seem easy. I'm not sure. I must be missing something. Maybe leave a comment if you know how these people are making money from this. That $500 a day from these copper wires is from months and months of collecting. Yeah, okay, so you do it for months and months, and then in one day you get paid $500 eventually. Maybe these thieves think, oh, I'm about to make so much money. Let's get these cables. They get them, and then they're like, okay, here's $50 for you.